Yo, crypto nation and mining family. Crypto nation and mining family. What's going on? Of course, like always, it's not financial advice. Yo, crypto nation and mining family. What's going on? So, got some interesting stuff that's been going on in the last week, and especially a couple of little interesting things that have gone today. So, without any further ado, would you like to know where to get one of these cool, awesome hats? Dude, guys, check it out. HotRodMining.com, where you can get all of your mining essentials, from hats, shirts. Oh, what's your plan B? Oh, I love that one. Got my Grin and Bear It jacket. Ooh, some shorts and some sweatpants there, and what would be a mining channel without selling some mining equipment? So I don't have everything mining on here because, well, the website people don't like it as a payment from the payment providing aspect. So Shopify says no to mining equipment, so I had to take some of the stuff off so that I didn't have any issues from censorship. With that, if you guys want to support me, certainly pop on down to HotRodMining.com. Yo. So, got some definitely interesting stuff that's, of course, they're always releasing some new hardware here and there. I love some new hardware. Can't buy all of it, unfortunately. I'm not made of $1 million and no sponsorships. So that always helps. But if NVIDIA, if you're ever watching, please, NVIDIA or AMD, please send me some equipment. I will do a review on it. I'm just saying, right? Something like this. So, if you guys know, I love my ROG Strix. They are some of the best binned PCBs out there. So, there are a couple of really clean looking GPUs that have come out lately. The ROG Strix in white, very, very clean looking. With the all white with the blue accent on there. If you were doing a white build, this would look amazing with it, especially with some of the white cases that I've seen. And they've got some cases that are a little bit on the higher end, and they'll even put like a smoke defect onto the glass and stuff like that. I mean, you can just lose your mind with just looks. We're not even talking about hot performance, just looks. But if you're the type of person like myself that I just want horsepower, I want the fastest, ROG Strix is going to give it to you. The 2080 Ti is going to have the highest boost clock of all the 2080 Ti's. It's going to be about 14% higher than all the rest, which you can definitely tell that this is a binned PCB. So it's not a bad thing. You want the best of the best on your high-end line, and that's what they're giving. And they've consistently done that with all of their Strix Edition. There's another company, Galax, with the HOF Edition. The difference between the two is, of course, the Galax has got a lower boost clock than the ROG Strix, which is fine. But if you are looking for pure looks, the Galax actually has an all-white PCB, where the Strix, the PCB, is still in green. Well, green and black. So if you're looking for more of a color aesthetics, you might want to check out Galax. Otherwise, I would go after myself the Strix Edition, just for the performance boost that it will give, and you will see that in your hash rate, guys. It is measurable. So, with that being said, this one is like more of like a public announcement on this one topic. So, guys, if you're using CryptoBridge at all, you might want to think about pulling your funds off ASAP. Why, you might ask? After the 3rd, which is just in 2 days, they're going to stop people from being able to make deposits on the crypto bridge. After the 15th, they are shutting their doors down. They will be no more, it looks like, with the continuation of a bear market and, you know, the lack of market momentum on Crypto Bridge's platform. They are shutting down. So hopefully, if anybody's using them, please get your stuff off of there. You shouldn't just be leaving your coins on an exchange ever. You should be downloading your own, especially if it's Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin Core Wallet. You should have it. And then you can sit there and make your own ledger at a lot cheaper of a price than the ledger. Oh my God. So I hope that, you know, anybody using them, certainly get up off of there. If you are, let me know if you are, and if you're leaving coin on there, or did you only trade on there? Let me know. Commenting down below. Yo. With that being said, guys, that's the little itty bitty news, I guess. The bigger news, I would say, would be my pie. Oh, you want a piece of the pie? Oh, look at that. Oh, so this is a Pi 4. It came with what is it? A 32-bit OS on here, which puts this thing into a 1 gigabyte variant. I needed to change it over to a 64 gigabyte variant so that I can utilize the 4 gigabytes of memory that's actually on here. What that's going to do for me, guys, is it's going to allow me to operate a XMR miner on here. So I'll be able to put XM rig on here, get it some mining on there. Thankfully, had a couple of people that have been working with me to get this thing up and running because I kind of hit a brick wall with it. I don't know Linux that well, so I started getting XM rig on here, and I was realizing I couldn't get an executable file on here, and I couldn't get the XM rig to build properly on here. So with my man Kurt McKell, he kind of discovered that, well, this thing's got the 32-bit on there, we need 64-bit. So I was figuring that I was going to have to reflash the SD card on here with a 64-bit variant. I started talking to my wife's kid, who's played with these a little bit more than me, and he looked it up and found that we were able to just change the kernel in the OS and change it to a 64-bit variant. And now this thing reads as an ARM V8 chip instead of the ARM V7, which the ARM V7 would put this as a Raspberry Pi 3. So it looked like a Pi 3. Everything on the outside of it said Pi 4. And now that I've got the right OS on there, now even the OS agrees with all the writing on here. So either today or tomorrow, this thing will be mining some of that Monero. I was, from the information that I have found on this, give or take, should be able to hit right around 3,000 hash per second. So that will be very interesting at a very, very low wattage, because these Pis aren't known to be pulling a lot of wattage compared to any AMD chip on there. So we'll have to check that out, get this onto a watt meter so that I can see what it's pulling off the wall and all of that good stuff. Yeah. So that's that. And the next thing would be is that you guys all know that I mine on Hive OS and Simple Mine. Simple Miner doesn't allow me to set up the CPU independently very well, so I'm able to do it on Hive OS. Hive OS seems to be a little bit simpler than Simple Miner OS. So let's kind of dive into this. So this here is my dashboard for one of my rigs, and you'll see that I've got it set up for mining 2 different coins on one rig. The GPUs are all on Beam, and the CPU is on Monero. Why don't I have any of my AMDs on here? Because the CPUs will actually, for the most part, it outperforms it. I'm just saying. So for me, it's not worth putting on my my GPUs onto something that's now CPU mineable, and CPU actually has the advantage. Would my AMDs get more hash rate than my my Intel CPUs or my Celeron CPUs? Probably, but it's also going to pull a lot more wattage in the process. So which one's more profitable? It's to the eye of the beholder. I would say to use less wattage, even if it's a little less hash rate. But if you look at the hash rate to wattage level, that's what you got to look at when you're making your final decision. Unless you're just wanting to mine Monero just to mine it, then that's a whole different topic. Each miner has his own unique situation that he or she is going to be setting themselves up with. So this one is to set up Monero on here. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you even try to make a flight sheet for this is you're going to go right to this little arrow and you're going to upgrade it. Why do you need to upgrade it? Because you need to get the upgrade version for the XM rig unified. That's what it is. So if you want the unified version of XM rig, update your miner itself before you start this process. Second thing after you update it, we want to keep our miners up to date in hopes to either keep stability or maybe it gives a little bit of a bump in performance. But the next thing you're going to have to do after you've updated everything is make sure that you grab yourself a Monero wallet, whichever one you feel comfortable with, and download that bad boy. I did download their full node wallet. So I did grab one of Monero's direct wallets and put the wallet address in. You grab which coin you're mining. Of course, you come down to here. It says XMR. That's what I've got here. Add my wallet. Boom. And then you can sit there and pick which pool you want. I'm not going to tell you which pool to go after. Use Monero Ocean, mining, Miner Rocks, Miner Gate, whichever one you feel comfortable with. They all have different fees behind them, so kind of pay attention to which one's got the better fee, which one's consistent payouts. There's a lot of things that come into the key when you're picking out a pool, guys. So I've used Monero Ocean. I'm currently using Nano Pool. I've used Spark Pool before. Let's see, is there any other ones that I've used on here? And I've used 2 miners. That's a good one. So it's really up to you which one you want to use. And of course, after you've done the update, now you're able to sit there and pick your mining rig, guys. Which mining program that you're going to use for your rig. I'm using XM Rig Unified. You can use it for your NVIDIA and AMD. Plus onto the CPU, so you can mine with everything you got if you wanted to go down that route. I don't recommend putting GPUs on it at this point. A waste of electricity. After you've picked that, you're going to have to come into here into the miner config area. And it's going to pull all of this stuff up. So basically, this looks like a whole lot of, oh my god, there's a lot of information on here. Just slow up, it's nice and simple. Breathe, relax, not so hard. So you're gonna come up to here, and these two, I'm gonna erase these really quick, just so you guys can see what it is that I'm doing. So we can cut that out of there. Boom. So whenever you load it up the first time, this is how it's going to be when you walk into it. You don't need to do anything to any of the other spots if you do not feel like it. Okay, so you do not need to touch anything. Now, the two areas that you saw me erase stuff off of, and you're like, well, if I come into here and it's like this, where did you get that information from? Nice and easy, guys. HiveOS has provided this information for you in a nice, easy, convenient spot. So you go up to this and it says CPU, huge pages. And what that means is that the stock page file size is a little on a small side for Monero. You want to sit there and redefine how big, the page file sizes are going to go to your CPU. So you want them grande, huge, right? We want it huge. So there's this little eye here, and as soon as you hover over, you see how it pops up this little window here. And as soon as you come up over here, you'll see there's 1248, and it's in blue. Just click on it one time. Ooh, look at that. It now auto-filled it right into the area for me. Don't have to do anything else with this section. You're done there. Now you come up over to here to the CPU configurations, and again, boom, you hover over the eye, and you see all this text in blue. You click on it. Boom. Puts the text right back where I had just erased it, guys. That's how easy it is to configure the miner. Then you apply the changes, which I've already done all this. I'm not trying to reapply everything because it's going to reset my miner. I'm not doing that. One thing I hate doing is rebooting my rigs, because in the time that it takes to reboot, there is hash power lost, guys. So kind of keep that in mind when you're sitting there and mining on this. Now, you wonder why I went through all of that to tell you, update. Make sure you're using the XM rig unified and not just regular XM rig like everybody's used to seeing. Here's why. So, here's the random X. You see how choppy it is? There's these like little breaks here. Each time it did a break over here, you see this? It says random X Loki. So the XM rig on here was actually so wonky that you can see all the little breaks. It was trying to mine Loki for some reason because the miner's broken, basically. And it's some of the reasons why they had to update it. Now that I've updated XM rig, because they just did this not that long ago. So, today they had to redo it because too many people were having issues on regular XM rig. So that was the issue. I've been running for an hour and a half. It has not tried to switch off of random X at all. So this is a great thing. So if you guys are looking to mine Monero, that's how you're going to set it up on there. The first thing that you're going to notice, though, is the moment you start hitting on that CPU, is you're going to start seeing a higher than normal latency. So keep that in mind. I can come up over to here. This bad boy usually has a 0.2 to a 0.1 latency. You might as well say there's no latency on there. I've seen times I've come up on here and it was 000 for the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 15 minute latency load averages. Right now, my load average is 1.21. So I am more than doubled, more than tripled my latency from mining on the CPU. So just kind of know that it's going to slow down the overall performance of your entire rig to do this. All my rigs have DDR4 memory, RAM in there, so it's not a RAM issue, and I've got 16 gigabytes of it. I am not utilizing all the RAM on my rigs either, so it's not a RAM issue. It's not a hard drive issue. It is straight up. It is because of the fact that the process coming through the CPU is slowing down the overall output. So just take that in mind, because like all your GPUs have to funnel through the CPU before it goes out. it's going to give you a latency issue, guys. My worst rig would be this one. This one has had high latency to begin with. I think I've got a issue with either the CPU or the motherboard itself. I'm having a suspicion that it's the CPU though. I had a glitch out error that happened like about 3 weeks ago, and this thing has boots up weird. So this motherboard's hurt. Let's just put it that way. This has got a 3930 from Celeron. This thing should be hitting pretty high. My 3900 hits higher than the 3930. So I don't know if it is the 3930's issue, that it is a little bit lower wattage, maybe, and it's throttling itself. It doesn't have that performance hit, or that chip is actually damaged. I hope it's not damaged, but it is what it is, right? But what was really funny with it mining Loki though, even though it would sit there and start hashing on Loki, on Monero here on the pool side, you did not see any of this anything have an issue. So just kind of keep that in mind, that if it starts to switch, you gotta be watching it on your miner. On pool side, it could take 10 to 20 minutes. So if it stops mining on pool side for 5 minutes and then goes right back to it, pool side will not see it. You'll see a little dip in hash rate for a moment and it'll pick back up. You're just gonna see it as a normal little stagger up and down, like these little highs and lows on the valleys here. So just kind of keep it in mind when you first configure something on a new algo. Keep an eye on it, guys. If it tries to do something funny, at least you'll be able to catch it early enough and not hash on it for days before you discover that there was an issue the whole time. So don't just set it up and walk away, is basically the bottom line on that. If you guys got any questions for how to set up Monero on your simple miner or on Hive OS, please hit me up. You can hit me up here or hit me up in the Discord. Links are always down below, guys. If you're getting yourself a Pi 4 and you're needing a little bit of help, definitely, guys, jump into the Discord. We can help you out. Of course, if we need to set it up for you, there'll be a small little nominal fee for that one. Time is money, of course. Proof of work, you should get rewarded for it, right? Boom, that is the miner's motto. So with that being said, I hope you found this very informative, guys. Smash that Lizzy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and all that groovy stuff. And like always, I'll definitely see your smiling faces on the next one. Peace.